Thank you for following along to another episode of Forgotten Gear Restorations. If you notice that familiar slapback echo, that natural reverberation right behind my voice, then you know precisely where I'm recording this voiceover. Unspeakable. We're looking at a TSL100 today that has a naughty power switch and some other issues. Let's dig in and find out what's up. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Hope this finds you and yours well. It's almost Friday. James, lovely seeing you this morning. The rest of you goons and mutants out there, happy Thursday. It's a little cloudy out, overcast, a little drizzle in the morning. That's not too bad. I like having some actual weather here in California. I'm not one of those sunshine 24/7 guys. Speaking of sunshine 24/7, James, your JCM 2000 TSL is hurting. You're telling me that there's a flickering in the power indicator switch, or rather the light inside of the power switch is flickering, and accompanying that is a bit of a sound dropout. Not the most uncommon problem with these. Sometimes that could amount to a failing standby or power switch, which is actually common. Your power tubes, let me see if I can move you over. Your power tubes are looking a little crispy. If you take a look there at the bases, now you can see the color transition from the lighter brown and then getting darker as it approaches the glass envelope there. These guys are a little roasty and toasty, but looking at the plate structure, and this is not always the best test, but just for the visual aspect of the inspection, which is where we are right now, the plate structure doesn't look damaged. But certainly this is the stock accompaniment of tubes here, and I bet some of them could stand to be replaced, but I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Let's see what's under this little guy right here. We have an EH, and you have the little rubber gasket there has dried out. So I'll see if I have a grommet or the like. I bought many grommets. And what's a grommet, some of you may ask? Well, it's not only the funnest word to say. Grommets, let me grab a drawer of them. I have a compartment of grommets. Here we go. A grommet is a little, pardon my penmanship, it's a little ring. It's bifurcated. Kind of looks like a little hamburger, if you will. See that? And what this does is the little crease here will fit inside of the metal punch out on, say, a chassis, and then you'll have these two flanges that'll sort of hold it in place. And give the I don't know, it could be a wire, it could be a little trunk of wires, it could be a tube. It'll give them protection as they pass through that metal chassis. Now, I don't have anything that's even close enough to working for that. I don't, I'm very sorry. But the good news is that you really don't need it on this particular tube. And sometimes, if you have a rubber band of the appropriate material, it will perform the same function. And that would be a silicone ring, something that can tolerate some stress from heat. But that's something that I do not have in my possession. But again, let's not get crazy here. It's going to do the job just fine. Let me get you back over there. So let's power her up and see what's cooking, or hopefully what's not cooking. So let me change camera angles here. This is going to be getting you guys seasick, no doubt. Alrighty, now we're back, aren't we? Yes. Yes, we are. So before I kick her on, let me just put everything at 50%, with the exception of volume, which is going to go down to 0. Gain, everything goes to 50. Everything goes to 50. That's how we like it. Reverb is not connected. Effects, nope, not important right now. All right, James, let's kick on the current limiter and power. And I'm getting a high-pitched sound. So, nothing strange from the limiter. Let's get the current limiter off. I think it was interfering with the low voltage supply. Okay. We're going to bring up, let's see, the wall volts to 120. So let me move you over. Let's focus on that power switch. Let's go. Here we go. Anybody getting sick yet? What's under that blue towel over there? You guys are never gonna know. All right, here we go. Power. A little delay. Let's get her out of standby mode. And let's hook up the signal generator. Old Jenny. Let's get Jenny connected. Let's see what she's gonna say. I have a master here that I'm not paying attention to. Output is not muted. Let's figure out why we are getting no output. Eerie. Stand by. All right, James. So, I think your power switch, there's two issues. Your power switch, I believe your power switch is starting to fail. So we can replace your power switch and that should resolve that issue. Your switch is essentially becoming a resistor. It's a common thing. It also happens on the standby switch as well as the low and high power mode switches on a lot of these amps. Impedance selectors, all the switches on these Marshalls have issues. So, however, this doesn't give us an easy way out when it comes to there being no output. There's nothing going on with respect to any sort of sound output into the speaker cab over here. So I'm trying to track that down, and I'll update you on that. I do see a suspicious looking resistor. Let me break this off the camera mount. Hang on. All right, now, one of these things doesn't look like the other. And you probably see it. Well, I did line it up in the middle of the shot for you. I guess I kind of made it easy. R48 here is supposed to be the V3B side cathode resistor. And it looks burnt. It's supposed to be a 100K part. Now, let's see. I mean, you're talking about a part that can see stress in certain positions. Let me get my meter going, and then we'll see. Let's get some test leads. Let's see if that's still 100K, because we don't know. I'm going to try to sneak my my hands in. Let's see, with the camera being there, not too easy. Maybe it's just an optical illusion, but that does look brown and charred to me. It's showing 100K, 101.2. That does look stressed, doesn't it? Certainly does. Let's see what kind of voltage we're pulling off of it. DC volts. Not really getting much of anything. Okay. I would want to replace that anyway, because that is a stressed out looking resistor. It looks like it's been overheated. And I don't know if under load, it's not much of a load. You're looking at maybe 3 volts, 2 volts. At under load, it shouldn't be changing all that much. So stand by. So I've got my head on straight. Just turn the chassis over. And what I'm seeing from the power supply is that it's not really drawing any amps. These are not conducting. I pulled out the phase inverter. There's no pop. I'm going to pull out a power tube and start measuring voltages. But I could tell you straight up, it's not conducting right now. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the fuses has blown. So check that. Get back to you. Yeah. See, watch this. Sometimes I just get bored and I start on another part of the process. When if you just skip the first things you should check, that will reveal everything. See, the short deletes together there. There's continuity, but not here. There's nothing there. So let's find out what blew this. This is the high tension fuse. And maybe we have a short in one of these power tubes. All right, let's see what the bulb has to say about it. We want to see a moderately dim on an amp of this power, a moderately dim amber to whitish light across the filament there. So let's get that on. Let's turn the power on. There we go. A little flash as the cap's charged. And we start drawing some current. I can see by the meter that we lost about 20 volts AC. So we're drawing some good current. Not excessive. And I could hear something from the speaker cab. Let's get this guy on. Nice. Okay. So the question is, what blew it? What blew that fuse? Is it just, was it just a little bit of silliness from that power switch? What did it? We don't know. I can tell you this. I can tell you that these tubes are incredibly microphonic and noisy. I don't know how much life they have left, but giving the mechanical noise coupled with what I'm seeing physically, I think it's about time to replace them, which is a shame because these are some really nice Russian Svetlanas, some old Wing Cs, as it were. I would consider changing them. Matter of fact, Watch this. It's just sympathetic resonance over across the chassis to these power tubes. So I would say that at some point you're gonna, and probably sooner than later, James, you're gonna need some new power tubes. I want to change that cathode resistor, the one that I showed you that looks agitated, and you need a new power switch. So I'll shoot you a call. Bye.